Take a look at this network. For many service firm owners, this is exactly what their daily operation looks like. Every client request, every vendor issue, and every minor proposal tweak is forced to route through one overloaded central hub, you. Operating this way is exhausting. When the backlog builds up, the natural reaction is to stay later, work weekends, and answer emails at midnight to keep up with the volume. The exhaustion comes from a structural flaw. You are delegating tasks but retaining all the authority. By requiring your approval for every minor step, you have turned your own nervous system into the company's single point of failure. Scaling requires a shift in how you build. You must isolate the 5 true executive decisions that require your attention and build a rigid structure to hand off everything else. Step 1 is facing the actual volume of your decisions. Open up your communication logs, your emails, Slack messages, and texts from the last 5 working days. Search those logs for every instance a team member asked to approve a timeline change. Next, find every instance you stepped in to tweak a proposal before it went out. Then find every time you jumped on a call to smooth over a routine vendor relationship. This audit will quickly expose 50 or more micro-decisions that are currently polluting your daily workflow and keeping you trapped in the weeds. Now apply the Founder's 5 constraint. You must aggressively eliminate items from this list until only 5 remain. For scaling businesses, those surviving decisions fall into these specific categories: new client approval, major hiring decisions, pricing strategy, 90-day direction setting, and crisis management. Here is the new rule. Any decision that does not fit into one of those 5 categories is permanently banned from your desk. Retaining one of them 5 categories means you are still executing the business instead of running it. Handing over authority without a framework will freeze your team with indecision. They need to know how you arrive at a conclusion, not just what the conclusion is. Structural delegation provides the logic required to move forward. You are transferring your decision-making process so the team can act autonomously. Take one of the 45 discarded decisions you just cut from your list and write down your exact step-by-step evaluation process for it. Detail the specific logic you use in your head. What exact profit margins do you require? How much of a timeline buffer do you need? What specific markers define a good client partnership for you? This documented framework acts as a safety net. It allows your team to replicate your intuition and make the right call without needing your active permission. Once the framework is built, deliver a specific handover script to your team. Tell them, "These 5 things come to me. Everything else is yours." Then you have to follow through. Stop asking how their day was. Stop checking in on tactical tasks. And stop reading CC'd emails. To maintain control, shift to measuring isolated outcomes. Use a 4-metric dashboard tracking accounts receivable under 30 days, client satisfaction, project on-time percentage, and profitability. As long as these remain green, the specific methods your team uses on Tuesday don't require oversight. When the team is judged by the outcomes they produce, the business can continue to move forward even when you aren't there to manage the steps. Be prepared. This shift is going to be uncomfortable. You will feel anxious watching an employee take 40 minutes to complete a vendor call that you could have finished in 15. You have to reframe that friction. Temporary slowness and small messes are the necessary upfront costs of building an autonomous system. Faster execution is not the goal here. Operational sustainability is the goal. Look back at your audit. Which of the Founder's 5 decisions do you think will be the hardest for you to isolate and hand off? Tell me in the comments. This shift builds an organization capable of operating on its own, allowing you to focus on the long-term growth of the firm. That is the goal of the Founders Operations Council.